Good afternoon, everybody. This is Terry Levin from Awesome Dynamic, welcoming you to the Awesome Dynamic Show, our weekly webinar where we like to answer your questions about SEO and websites and Amazon selling, etc., and try to be helpful to get you guys on the right path. So I want to start off by introducing everybody who's joining us today. I'm going to go in a little different order, and we're going to shoot down to Florida and talk to our president, Paul Dwarian.
Welcome to the Awesome Dynamic Show. This is Paul Dwarian. I am in Florida, and it is beautiful here. But I'm really excited today because we're going to talk about Robin's latest blog, some really good actionable tips you can do to rank better on Google. And we're also going to talk Amazon a little bit today, which is going to give you some more insight into some of the different things that you should be thinking about Amazon and why it's such an important marketplace to be in. With that, I'm going to go down to Argentina. Blake.
Hello, folks. This is my last week in Buenos Aires. I'll be back in Florida on Tuesday or Wednesday, but I'll be sad to leave. But thank you for showing up to our webinar, and make sure to tell your friends and family all about our awesome webinars because it's free service that is quite expensive otherwise. So join us. And over to Robin.
Hello, I'm Robin. I do the search engine optimization, and I'm in Chicago. And you're going to learn a lot today. And back to Terry.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. So today, as we said, we are going to do things a little different because one of the things we typically do is feature a business that wants to get a little idea of what their online presence is, what issues there may be with their website, and how we might be able to help them, make some changes to help things move forward. Today we're not doing that. We have a little different thing, but we don't want to discourage you. So if you are interested in getting a feel for your website and your online presence, you reach out to us and we can get you on the schedule. We always encourage you to come on and ask some questions, and anybody who might be watching today, if you have any questions during the process, you can go ahead and ask those questions and we'd be glad to address them right away. Before we get started, though, we do want to take a little run through our website and give you a little idea of exactly what we do here at Awesome Dynamic. So while we're getting that up on our screen, I want to talk to you about what we do in general is we get you new targeted customers, and there's several ways that we can do that for you. And one of the ways that we do that is by building responsive websites. And when we talk responsive websites, we mean a website that will look good on your giant monitor at home, on your laptop, on your tablet, and of course also on your smartphone. Very important in this day and age where over 60% of all searches are on the mobile devices that people have the ease of use and are able to just click on your phone number, etc., and get right to you so they don't get frustrated and go to someone else's website. Once you have a great website, you need to make sure that you are using search engine optimization to drive people to that site, and that's how we go about getting you those targeted customers that are looking for exactly what good or service you offer. So we do a great job with that. We have many different options for you as far as plans that we can fit your budget and make sure we get the job done for you. Amazon Seller Consulting is something that we've been doing more of late, and it is really something that's taking off here at Awesome Dynamic. We're going to talk more about that today, but we are helping people get on Amazon or straighten out their Amazon issues, a lot of confusion, a lot of frustration with selling on Amazon. It's a great way to sell your product, but a lot of people are looking for help and guidance, and we have several different ways we can help you with that. And last but not least, we do the Google Street Tours, which are the virtual tours where people can go to the website and actually walk through and preview your business. Great way to get a feel for it. Great for restaurants, bars, doctors, dentists use it a lot. People get a good feel for the place. Also a great SEO boost when you do that kind of a tour, because if your competitors don't have one and you do, it really gets you seen and helps your SEO overall. So great thing to do. We love doing those, and a lot of our customers taking advantage of that as well. So that's a quick rundown on how we get you those targeted customers. Also wanted to just take you briefly through the website here and show you that we have the Awesome List, where you can sign up for our mailing list and be up to date on all the latest things that are going on here at Awesome Dynamic. We also have an events, an events tab where you can see our upcoming. We have some things coming for later in the summer that are probably not on there yet, but will be coming soon. We like to do a lot of free seminars and things to help people in our area, locally in the Chicagoland area, to get some things done. So that's a quick rundown on that. Paul, what else did I miss when we went through the website?
I was in the middle of posting about our webinar on Facebook.
Aha, gotcha.
Come in here, but I don't know if you already mentioned the reviews, but if you like what you hear in our webinar, we want you to leave us a 5-star review to spread the good word that we're out there to help folks improve their online presence.
Perfect, good catch, because I did not, but thank you. So that, I think, takes you through. Also, pretty soon you'll be looking at it sometime in the next few weeks, I think, our brand new website. We're very excited about it, and we look forward to previewing that for you guys shortly. So I think that's a good rundown on that, and so now I guess we're going to jump right in and talk about the subject of the day with Robin. So Robin, you want to jump right in?
All right. So today we're going to talk about something that many small, medium, even large businesses always ask me about, which is, okay, now I know what SEO is, what do I do? And they want to get started that day. So these are the things that you can do on your own, and then after that you can, or if you don't have, the thing is, SEO is all about how much time things take and changes that come up. So you can definitely get a start doing these things on your own, but then hiring a professional SEO company would definitely be the next step after you've started to do some of these items on your own. Especially if you don't have a large team or if it's just you, I would definitely recommend that. All right, so the first thing you should definitely do is fill out your Google My Business page. I would say that this takes 20 to 30 minutes if you have all of the items ready to go. So you have all your pictures ready, your logo, your all of your business hours information. So there's tons of benefits to filling out this Google My Business page. If you're not on the map, you're not going to be showing up on Google for the local results. So definitely get on the map, and the way you can check that is by going to gybo.com. gybo.com, and checking if you're on the map here. So all you would do is say check my business and then type in the business name. All right, so after you've completed that, and that you can do literally in 20 minutes, now we can start a blog. So blogging is something that you should be doing regularly, no matter what your industry is. So your blogs have to have 300 to 600 words, at least 2 optimized pictures, which means just naming them correctly in the file and alt tag. And then I would also add a video or infographic would be a great thing to add to enhance it and make it better than your competitors. You can also update some of your old blogs. So if you have existing blogs on your site, you don't have to start over. Just go ahead and take those old blogs and revitalize them. I would say it takes between 2 and 6 hours to write a full blog that's fully optimized, including all the posting and editing everything correctly. I would highly recommend that plugin Yoast, which we'll talk about later. And then do the same on your pages. So not just optimizing your blog content, but every page on your website, you should be having a separate product and service page for each of your products or services. So that's a big mistake that some companies make, is they put all their products or all their services on one page. So what you want to do is break it up and put different content on each page that's very specific, so that each page has their own focus keyword, their own pictures, and that'll get you a lot of credit on Google. So that's a lot of the work right here, is just this number 2 here. It'll take, every page on your site or every blog is going to take 2 to 6 hours. So you can see that you can get your website into shape in, if you had someone doing this full time, probably it'd take you a month at least. All right. And you guys feel free to interject at any time on one of these if you have something to add.
You're doing great so far, Robin.
All right, so now download Yoast and fill out metadata. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Yoast, that's a plugin only for WordPress. And that tells you if your page is optimized. So there's no guessing. It just says, red, yellow, or green for each item that you can optimize. So that's a little guide there that you can use. And then filling out metadata. Metadata is just, if I searched like, let's search like awesomeness. Okay, so metadata is just these three things: this title, this description here, and then your keyword. So this one I like here, 11 Ways to Unleash Your Awesomeness. Pick the brain. We should read that article. But you can see some of this. If you're looking for a definition, it's here. Wine awesomeness, it's very specific. So there's an International Day of Awesomeness, March 10th, every single year.
That should be March 12th, actually, because that's my birthday.
We'll have to email them, let them know they're off by a couple days.
Well, with that.
So you can see that by putting in a great title and a great description, you're going to get more clicks. So that's why this is so important. If you don't write this, Google will just automatically take it from that page or article, and then it's not very advantageous for them to pick a random sentence from there. You want to make sure that you're aggressive with this and you write it. All right, and then
I want to comment that video that you just scrolled over.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. Terry, if you haven't watched it, you should. But the girl that's in the video, she's trying to say metadata, but she keeps saying metadata. And it's hilarious. So it's worthwhile to watch it. It starts right at the point where she starts doing it. Anyway, Robin, please continue. Number 4.
Sure. So facts on every page. Okay, so facts are basically frequently asked questions that all your customers are constantly asking you and you're constantly answering. So why not just put it on your website and then you'll get credit from Google. If someone searches it online, it could pop up in the knowledge graph, like best way to throw a frisbee, maybe. Let's see. No, there's no knowledge graph for that. So I'm looking for something that pops up here. How about...
Didn't you do one about salmon? Boil
best,
or how to smoke salmon on your grill?
How to smoke salmon? Yeah, we can do that. How to smoke salmon. Okay, so see this knowledge graph here? This is prime real estate. You cannot pay for this. So this is, if there were ads here, it would be above the ads. Sometimes the knowledge graph pops up over here. But if you have a question and answer on your website and you have the best one, it's gonna pop up here. So that's definitely. I mean, I do it all the time for like how to add a picture on Photoshop. See, like this will tell you the exact steps. A lot of times it helps if you number them as well. But if you can't generate some of these questions, where's another place to go? Here's a strange website that I like, answerthepublic.com. You can just put in your industry. So let's say you sell sailboats. You can just go ahead and put in sailboat there. Then it's going to generate a whole bunch of questions. And then you can use those ideas to generate frequently asked questions on your pages. So why is this important to add frequently asked questions on your website? So you can see all these questions like, what's sailboat? Who's this sailboat? Like all these questions here. So why is that important? Because once you finish this step above, where you finished all your pages, everything's perfect, you're not done. You actually will go down in the ranking if you don't continually add new content and update your pages. So it's a never-ending process with SEO. Also, another great reason to hire an SEO company is because they will take care of that for you. But so once you finish all your pages, now you have to start over again and start doing all the pages over and over again. So Google wants to see fresh content. So putting these little questions on each one and spending 5 minutes a day or 5 minutes a week even, adding these questions to your website will show Google that you're continually freshening up your site, and they will, as a result, they will crawl your site more often, and you will rank higher up. So.
Robin, I have a question on that. Is there any kind of a guideline or a time frame, like, when we're talking to people, should you refresh content, monthly, weekly, daily? What would be a general, like, a rule of thumb for that?
So there's not a set rule, but I would say that, and you don't have to do every single page every single month, but I would say if you rotate pages and you continually are blogging, then that would be good enough. I usually recommend, a bare minimum of 1 to 2 blogs per month, and then um, in terms of the more static pages, like the product pages, the home page, things like that, you can just rotate those maybe at least change one of your pages every month. It doesn't have to be a complete overhaul change, but it's always better to do it more often. So if you can just do these, I mean, it takes 5 minutes. Spend 5 minutes a week answering one frequently asked question and posting it on your site. That would be like the bare minimum. Yeah.
And Terry, I also want to chime in on that question because it is a great question. It's all about doing it more than your competitors are. So if you have competitors that are updating and refreshing their pages extremely often, then you need to be more often than them. If they're not doing it at all, you can get away with the bare minimum. So there's certainly, yeah, the idea of fresh, unique content being on the website on a regular basis. You do that through adding blog posts. Blog posts don't need to be incredibly complicated. You can get away with a lot of short stuff. You can also get away with on your pages rewriting first paragraph, just improving on your prior work or what you said about your business. Maybe add a testimonial, or you can add a FAQ, like Robin was saying. So there's tons of like little tweaks that you can make. So what you want to do is not look at your website as, well, I got to get this giant term paper done and have it just perfect, and then launch it and then leave it alone. You want it to be a living document. You want it to constantly be in change, and you're adding, maybe you add 20 FAQs to one page and you're like, yeah, this is getting ridiculous. Well, maybe it's time to add another page about a more specific area pertaining to that page, get a little bit more focused on, and maybe use a longer tail keyword and take a whole bunch of those FAQs and use it to rework and write some additional content and move them over. So there's a lot of creative ways you can, reuse the content, move it around, rewrite it, add new stuff, add case studies of the different businesses that you've worked with, of customers. There's just tons of different stuff that you can do.
Okay. And it sounds like, you touched on, I think what sounds to me, the more I hear it, is almost like the golden rule of the whole SEO program is doing a bit more than your competition seems to be the sort, I guess, like the theme of the whole SEO world. We just got to make sure we're always doing a little more than our competitors to stay on top of them.
Exactly. And the other big thing is, you always hear in the SEO world, content is king. And that's just writing something that people actually want to read and providing value through what you're writing. So as long as you keep that as a main theme, that's the one thing that's never changed in SEO, is so long as you're writing something that's valuable and meaningful to somebody and not just writing it for the sake of SEO, that will have some longevity to it.
All right. Good stuff. All right, Robin, back to you.
All right, collecting testimonials and reviews. I put 3 minutes here because this is something that, when you interact with a customer, or if you don't interact with your customers, even through an email list or some way you can get your happy customers to review you on Google My Business. So I would definitely recommend downloading that Google My Business app. It's really easy to manage there, and you can see right away when you get a review on your phone. But basically what you have to do is, what I would recommend, the best way to get a review is right after they buy your service, or right after they buy your product, ask them to review you right there on the spot. So they can't be connected to Wi-Fi, but basically you just take their phone from them and ask nicely. And so you take their phone from them and then go to Google Maps. So they have to have Google Maps on the phone, which is on all Android phones. If they don't, you could just ask them if they want to download Google Maps, or if they will leave you a Facebook review instead. Or if your industry calls for it, even on another site, like if you're a restaurant and you already have a Yelp page, then ask for that. So then you just get them to the place. You have to scroll down on Google Maps, but once you get them there, then they can leave you a review, and it's super easy for them. A lot of times if you tell them to leave a review, they go home, they forget about it. It's hard to collect these reviews, and you need a lot of them. So if you have a ton of 5-star reviews online, that is going to boost you up in the search results, and it's going to get you some more calls over your competitors.
Right. And this is what makes me crazy is that people don't take advantage of doing this because we all have happy customers. All you have to do is ask them. They're more than happy to do it. They do it all the time for other people. I would be even a little more specific. When I ask for them, I ask for a Google 5-star review. Let's, really shoot for the moon and ask for that. And it doesn't cost the business a cent, and it can make a huge difference in your online presence and your reputation. So I just don't know why everyone isn't taking advantage of this and getting them done. It's something. It's a must-do. It's easy. It's quick, and it's free, and it helps you. So.
You know what? I have a quick video here that shows how easy it is to do on a phone, whether it's an iPhone or a Android phone. On Android, they already got Google Maps on there, but I have it's a really short demonstration video, so I'd like to put that up on my screen here.
Sure.
And oops.
Using the YouTube app.
Let's see here. So here you have the phone, and we need to find the Google Maps app. So on this particular phone, it's in one of these folders. Once
and
the
Blake,
app launches.
Can you see this on your screen?
Oh, you know what? Hold on a sec. I'm saying to watch it. Hold on a sec. Here we go. All right, we'll start over. All right, so you have the phone. The Google Maps app happens to be in a folder, so we're going to open up that folder and open up Google Maps. At the top, you just simply type in the name of the business. In this case, we're typing in Sexton Development. That brings up Sexton Development at the bottom, so we click down there with our finger and just swipe up. Swipe up again, and you'll see that there's the 5 gray stars here. You just click on the 5th star, and then you hand the phone back to the person, and they just start typing.
Yeah,
so literally it takes a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
What's that, Robin?
Ask to tell their story, so it's more specific.
Exactly.
Because if you get a bunch of reviews that just says, great company, or awesome product, that's not going to do as much for you online as if you had someone tell a full paragraph of what their experience was.
Mm-hmm.
But this is my favorite one here, too, testimonials. So let's say you're going to have people that say, oh, I don't have a smartphone, or I don't know how to do this. Hand them a piece of paper and have them write it down on a piece of paper, because you can use that testimonial and put it on your website and get a ton of credit online.
Do you mind if I show an example of this one?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so if you take a look at Google here, I need someone to help me with my Amazon seller consulting. So I'm going to go to Google and see if there's somebody out there. And see how this result, which happens to be ours, has gold stars next to it, but none of these other ones do. Now, there's a reason for that, and if you come and visit the site, I had one of our customers give us a written testimonial, and I put it down at the bottom of the page here, and I marked this up with what's called schema markup. And just by doing that, Google lets me have these golden stars in the search results, which can drastically increase the click-through ratio, because usually people are going to be clicking on this first one, but if they see those gold stars down there, they're going to think, well, let me see what these guys are all about. And it's been proven statistically that you'll get more click-throughs by having the gold stars on your result.
All right. So hey, you threw something out there, schema markup.
Yes.
So can you say that again in English so some of us that don't know what that is will get just a little picture of what that means?
Sure. I'll bring up a page here. Let me go back to my screen. So schema markup. It's a microdata markup. It's some code basically that goes in the back end of the website that you put in the code, and it does certain things. One of those things is what I was just describing, which is having those gold stars on your search results. So you can go to this schema.org and you can learn about all the different schemas there are, but this will look very foreign to you. You'll see as it comes up here, it's going to be a lot of, if I click on, let's say, review here, it's going to bring me to an area of the page where it's going to give me a lot of stuff that I got to implement, and it gives me examples here. And you're probably looking at this like, I'm never going to be able to do this. Well, you're in luck, because you can go and type in schema testimonial tool, and there's probably going to be we're going to click on this one that has the gold stars. So basically, I just type in the stuff I want to type in, and I hit submit, and it'll give me a chunk of code I could just copy and paste on my website. So
yeah, before you do that, though, do these 10 other things. Then you can do schema.
Yes. All right, good point, Robin. Let's go back to...
But to put it even more English, it's like a Spanish to English translator, but it's English to Google Speak, so that Google can understand your website.
All right, now we got it.
All right, so who should you get reviews from? You can get reviews through social shares. I mean, you can ask third-party contractors that you've worked with. You can exchange with other businesses as long as you've worked with them or met them. You can have a review party and introduce people to your product. You can have any kind of events that you hold, networking meetings. You can hand out postcards for reviews. You can call people over the phone, put in your email signature. I mean, you can do so many things to get reviews. So if you have no reviews online, there's no excuse, really. All right, so adding pictures to the page. I say 20 to 30 minutes to edit a picture. I use Photoshop. You can use other places like Web Resizer. You can find free photos, legal photos. Use your legal photos or take photos yourself so that you can use them. But you definitely need at least 2 optimized pictures per page. Then go ahead and create a video for every page. It doesn't have to be, hire a professional videographer for every single video, but at least try to make some sort of video. I use PowerPoint to make some videos with a music track and a voiceover, so that's something that you can pick up or have hire someone for. I would say 3 to 6 hours per video. Create great contact information. Take a look at your own contact page, and if you have more than these 3 things, or these 3, what is it? What are the 3 things? Oh, here it is. Name, email, and message. It's probably going to be too much for your page. A lot of times you can add phone number or the subject or a drop-down menu, a date range, or industry-specific items, but most people will fill out your contact if it's just name, email, and the message. Also have a call to action on your website. Once you get people to your website, I mean, that is a very hard part, is to get people to actually go to your website. But once they're there, you want to make sure you make the most of those people and tell them what they need to do on your website. So if you want them to share things, if you want them to download a coupon or discount, a free quote, if you want them to volunteer. So make it very, very crystal clear what you want them to do once they get to your website, because they won't figure it out on their own. You have to guide them and lead them what to do once they get there. All right, and back to the contact page. Blake's pretty much an expert at the contact page. Why don't you talk about that for a second?
The contact page should have a small form that you can have potential clients contact you at. Sometimes it's frustrating to go to a contact page, see no phone number, no address, no name of the company, and know where to actually contact you. So we recommend having your name, your address, and your phone number. When we say name, your business name or you. A small contact form that they can leave their potential name, address, phone number, small message, but also an embedded Google map. And this allows people to visually get a cue if they're local where you're at. If not, they can move the map around and get an idea. They can zoom in, they can zoom out, they can look for landmarks, and they can essentially, from what I understand, Google loves to see that. So when the little Google bots are crawling around and they see your contact page has one of their embedded maps, it's probably safe to say that you're going to rank a little higher than your competition that doesn't have an embedded Google map. So that's the contact page.
I'd like to expand on that a little bit, if I may.
Yeah.
The other thing is they're going to go there for the hours of when you're going to be open, so that's a reason they're going to go there. Also, the number of fields that your contact form has will directly correlate to how willing they are to fill it out. So if you ask for a lot of information, it's going to statistically reduce the amount of people who will fill it out. So being able to keep that as minimal as possible is going to get you that lead data. So you want people to contact you so you can do more business. So at a minimum, in order to be able to reach out to them and contact them, you need to look at this. Robin's editing the website while we're in the webinar. This is awesome. The minimally, you want to get their name and either their phone or their email address. But if you at least get that and nothing else, at least you can pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, you came to our website, you filled this thing out. I want to, I want to do some business with you. What can we do to help you improve your business or whatever product or service you have? But yeah, the point is, make it easy, make it very simple, make it quick, so you get that lead information. Now, if let's say you got too many people contacting through the form, that's when you might explore the idea of adding some more fields into that form to qualify the different people that are coming through. So, for example, we have one client that has a Montessori school, and she really wants parents that are local to the area who are going to be living there for a while and have a child that they're going to enroll who's between 18 and 36 months. And they want to make sure that at least one parent's home. So she gets contacted by tons and tons of people all the time, but she's added different ranges of areas that are close and far from where they're at, how long they've been there. So she's asked a lot of different qualification questions, and if any of the different items that they answer don't fit in the qualification that she has, she simply sends them a copy-paste email saying, thank you for your consideration. However, it doesn't sound like Forest Bluff is the school is a right fit for you. You might check out some of these other schools who are our referral partners. But if it does fit the different criteria that they want, then they're going to aggressively go after that person. So, yeah, when you have tons of people coming through this through the contact form, you can add more fields to kind of filter out some of the different folks that you might want to qualify before you're calling, so you're not getting a ton of people coming through. The last comment I wanted to make is the idea of having a specific page other than the contact form for getting leads. A lot of people have the perception that the contact form just goes to a receptionist or a secretary or somebody who doesn't really, it's not in the sales department, and they don't think that their contact information is going to get to somebody who's going to get back to them right away. So if you have something that's more specific, like a free quote or free consultation, or something that's more of a directed call to action form, that's going to usually yield a lot more contacts than just a standard contact form on the contact page. Robin, you were about to say something.
Yeah, that was it. This part, if you have people that want to apply, like with a resume, don't put everything together. And like if you're a roofing company, don't assume that everyone wants a free quote. I mean, what if someone wants to interview you for an article? Do they have to fill out the entire free quote page in order to contact you? Or if they want to work there, do they have to fill out the free quote page in order to get in contact with you? So make sure that you have one general form, and if you want more specific forms, add a separate form.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's all great information and expansion on what I said. In layman's terms, I think it is if you ever go to the doctor or someone and you've got 3 pages of information to fill out, it's frustrating. If it was a half a page, you typically enjoy that more if they're only asking for an email, a phone number, maybe your height and weight or something. So sometimes that's how I like to think of a short contact page as being beneficial until, like Paul said, you get an overload of emails and you need to increase your filtering.
Mm-hmm. Great.
And lastly, I put on social media here. It is a smaller part of SEO, but I feel like if you're missing that on your website, you almost look like a dated website sometimes. So if you have some social media platforms, I would recommend just trying out one first and being very active on it. And once you've got that one nailed down, then add a second one. The one thing you don't want to do as a new business, or especially if you're a solo owner, is to add every social media platform as much as possible and get all the buttons on your site. That is going to harm you because first off, it's hard to, with all this other stuff that you're doing, it's hard to catch up. And unless you have a full-time social media person or someone at least part-time working on your social media. So I would say get one and get that down right away. And I would recommend one of these 3 for that. And then once you do that, go ahead and start other social media. And this is all the stuff you can do on there. You can promote a blog, you can share a picture. If you have a new product, people love inspirational quotes on there. You can offer a discount, and you just anything you can put on your social media. So there's unlimited items you can post on there, but just make sure to try and post. They recommend every 21 days so that it looks like your business is not closed, but I would really recommend at least twice a month at the very bare minimum. So if you're blogging twice a month, just promote your blog on here twice a month. So it's definitely another outlet to connect with your customers.
All right. Well, I think that was outstanding, as always. Robin, you did a great job of giving us 10 ways to get going on our SEO. So we appreciate that. So we get a lot of calls every day here about issues with Amazon. And Robin, wouldn't it be great if we had an expert around that we could just ask a bunch of questions to and give people some insight on how Amazon works?
Yeah.
And we just happen to have one of those, don't we?
Well, how do you get started on Amazon?
All right, so let me turn that over to you, and let's get into Amazon a little bit.
So, Robin, is that your first question? How to get started?
That's my first question.
Okay.
I've got a product. How do I sell it?
Okay, without a product or with a product?
With a product.
Okay, so you got a product and you want to sell on Amazon, and you actually have quite a few options available to you. First off, you want to proactively get in there and start selling your product. You can get involved with what's called Seller Central. So I'm just going to go to sellercentral.amazon.com. Hold on, give me a second here. Get this pulled up. I'm going to turn off my LastPass here just for a second. Give me just a moment here. Okay. So I'm going to go to sellercentral.com. So this is essentially what it looks like, sellercentral.com. You can go to Selling on Amazon, learn more. There's Fulfillment by Amazon. And these two things aren't as important, but the idea here is, Amazon wants you to sell their product on there. And they're going to allow you to do that, but it's very different than, let's say, eBay or Etsy or a lot of the other accounts. But essentially, you're starting here on Seller Central. You sign up for an account. You need to have a bank account. You're going to need to have a credit card. You're going to list a brand new product. You need to have what's called a Pro Merchant account, which actually does cost $40 a month, which is what they're promoting here. But you can also sell products that already exist on Amazon with a free account. They just add an extra $1 per product that you sell. So is that? I don't want to. I can get into so much detail, but I want to answer each question specifically. Does that answer that question for you, Robin?
Yeah, that's a good place to get started. How about the difference between, like, I have a personal Amazon account and then I have a business Amazon account? Do you have to make 2 separate accounts, or how does that work?
Well, there are a lot of people that do start selling through their personal account, but if you're going to get serious about running a business all around, an Amazon e-commerce platform, you really want to have a separate account that's specifically for your business.
Okay, so I need to start a new separate account. So why should I just sell? I'm selling okay on my website. Why do I have to give Amazon all these fees, or what kind of fees do I have to pay per? Does it matter how big my product is, how small it is? Why is Amazon charging me so much? And do I sell it from out of my house, or do I sell it out of my own warehouse, or do I sell it out of their warehouse? How does this all work?
Okay, that's a lot of questions. I'm going to
I think there was 11 questions in there. I'm not
11 questions? Let me hit them one at a time. So what was the first one, Robin?
I don't even remember.
Okay. Well, why should I sell on Amazon? Well,
Yeah, why
Amazon.
did I sell on Amazon
Sure, sure.
if they're taking
Amazon's
fees?
the number one world, yeah, the number one's trusted retailer online in the United States, and in many cases, in other countries, they're the number one online trusted retailer as well. So by being the number one trusted retailer online, you are capturing millions of people who are looking for products on their website daily. So when we have people come to us and ask for us to set up an e-commerce website for them, we'll say, sure, we could do that. And then they'll say, so then I'll ask them, well, once we get this e-commerce website set up, which could have, let's say, hundreds of products, and we have to figure out how we're going to get the money into your account. Are we going to do it with PayPal? Are we going to have a more smooth workflow with like credit card integration? If you're going to go that way, you got to have a SSL certificate, so you're PCI compliant with the credit card integration. Then I'll start asking, how are we going to calculate the shipping? Are we going to have to calculate based on the region of the country they're from and where you're shipping to? Is it going to be based on weight? Is there going to be a per item handling charge? So all those things need to be figured out. And then after we get this site together and it's ready to sell a whole bunch of product on your own website, how are people going to find it? Right now, yeah, if you have a website that has product on it, you have a national target audience or maybe even international. But people aren't going to be able to find you without doing SEO, which is another thing that we do, of course. So I know that doing SEO takes someone 20 hours a month to really make an impact online, and in some areas that are extremely competitive, much more time. And if you don't have that time to learn it and then do it, or you don't have the money to pay somebody else, that can be quite costly. So I've come across people who want a website that's e-commerce to sell their product, and they're looking at numbers for their website in the 4 to 6,000 range just to get the site and all the products and the descriptions and the pictures and everything else in there, and then they're looking at a couple grand a month just to get the SEO going, and then maybe in a few months they'll sell their first product, which to me is not a great immediate return on investment. It will pay off in the long run, especially if people are coming directly to you and you can avoid all those Amazon fees. But why do that when you could just start selling on Amazon tomorrow? And you could literally list your product, be in front of millions of people that will start seeing your product, and you could start selling your first product within a week and have a very low investment in time and in money if you hire someone else to do it. So that's one of the reasons why I recommend you sell on Amazon. Even if you have a successful website presence and you are selling through there, you could just open up to a whole new world of people who only shop on Amazon because they don't want to go to other websites because Amazon is so trusted. What do you think?
Yes, as far as like the storing of the products, what's the benefit of storing it at Amazon versus storing it in my house?
Okay, so one thing in regard to Amazon is that you have something called the FBA program, and this is really important. It stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. See if they have a page on their website going into the Fulfillment by Amazon benefits. So you have the ability to go and sell the products out of your own house. So basically the way that works is you list your products for sale, you list an inventory. When you sell something, Amazon will send you an email, and typically it'll say sold now, ship now. And Amazon's very serious about high-end customer service. They didn't get to where they were by letting anybody take as long as they want to send different things out if they're fulfilling on their own. Then that's called fulfillment by merchant. So if you don't really get on top of the customer service and shipping things quickly when something's bought, Amazon will actually shut down your account and kick you off of Amazon for selling. So the other aspect of this, if you really don't want to be on top of it, you can jump into the Fulfillment by Amazon program. And what's really cool about that is you just pack up all the stuff that you have and send it into Amazon, and they'll take care of everything for you. All right, so let's say I got 20 Walkmans. If you, I don't know who's buying Walkmans these days, but I get 20 Walkmans, and their vintage Walkmans are well sought after Walkmans because they're just vintage. They play 8-track tapes, and I'm going to list these on Amazon. And what I can do is I can send in 20 of these things in one box to Amazon, and then when they sell, Amazon will actually take it off the shelf, put it in a box with some packaging and send it out to the person. And if they're an Amazon Prime member, they'll get free 2-day shipping. And if they're not an Amazon Prime member, they'll get free 3 to 5 day shipping, only because you're stocking your product in Amazon's warehouse. So those are some additional advantages you have for having it in the warehouse. Now, let's say you were doing this yourself and you're selling it from your home or from your business, and you get that order. Well, once you get that order, you can print the shipping off from the Amazon interface and the label, and then you'd have to box it up yourself, and then you'd have to drop it off at the post office or UPS or whatever.
Paul, if I could just interject on that for a second. I mean, one of the things we do in a lot of our consulting is we take people that aren't on the FBA program and get them into it. And one of the reasons is you usually talk about quite a bit of jump in business right away just from doing that. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Sure. So usually at a business, on average, will experience at least on average a 30% increase in sales just by being in the FBA program. And the reason why this is because there are shoppers who exclusively look for product that is Prime. So I want to show you something. I'm going to go to Amazon, and let me make sure I'm logged into my personal account here. And I'll bring this up on a screen just a second here.
Are we going to buy something?
Maybe. We'll see. Let's see. Sign out. And I'll sign back in. Here we go. So I'll bring this up on the screen. So let's say I'm going to look for body wash. Now, see this little Prime flag that's on these things right here? Those are things that are stocked in Amazon's warehouse. These items that have the add-on item, those are actually stocked in there, but because they're so low cost, they're not going to include them in Prime unless I add something else to the cart or hit a minimum value. There's also things here that don't have that little flag at all. You can see how many of them do. But that also is a ranking factor. The fact that you're in the Amazon Prime program will make it so that you show up higher on the page. So here's the first one that I've come across that does not have that little Prime flag. It doesn't have that little add-on item or the Prime pantry. So if I were to order this particular item, it would be fulfilled by merchant. But what I'm going to show you is a lot of people like me and like a lot of people that I know, they'll come over here and refine by Prime because they only want to shop from people that have their products in Amazon warehouse because they know they're going to get that 2-day free shipping. And 2-day free shipping is pretty widespread in the United States. They also have the 1-day shipping and same-day shipping in some markets. So only things that are in Amazon's warehouse qualify for Prime, and there's shoppers that specifically check these boxes to make sure that they're only getting those items, and they're not having to wait for people to ship things to them, and they're not having to pay for that shipping either. So yeah, that's why that 30% average increase happens, is because a lot of shoppers just want the 2-day free shipping, and they're willing to pay in many cases more money than they could go down to the local store to get this body wash, because for an extra buck I don't have to hop in the car and go there. I remember at one point I was buying a dog food, 50-pound bag of dog food from Amazon, from a Prime seller, and I did it because it was $5 more, but I did it because I didn't want to get into the car, drive to the pet store, go into the store, schlep the 50-pound bag up to the counter, then bring it back out to the car, throw it back in the car, drive back home, take the bag out of the car, bring it into my house. That's a lot of moving of a 50-pound bag, and I didn't want to deal with a round trip. That whole thing probably took me 45 minutes. Or I could just pay $5 and it'd show up on my door 2 days later, and I just drag it into the house, open the box, I'm done. So that's a lot of the mentality of folks that are buying on Amazon. They just like the convenience. They just click the button and they buy it right now, and it shows up at their door. And they're doing that from their phones. They're doing that from their iPads and desktops all the time. So being in that Prime program and knowing that you're going to get the item in 2 days, knowing that you're not going to be charged for shipping, and knowing that it's going to happen consistently is a huge advantage over people that have the self-fulfillment. Does that answer that question well, Terry?
I believe that covers it. Absolutely.
Now,
all right. Robin, what else do we have on our question list for Paul?
How much does it cost?
How much
Sorry.
does it cost?
Yeah.
Good question, Blake. Blake has a pro merchant account, and he sells items on Amazon as well. So he's really well versed in the subject, and he's on our team, and he helps us out with a lot of our clients with the Amazon as well. But Blake has a great question. How much does it cost? Amazon charges 15% in most categories. They charge 15% of your sales price, and if you do fulfillment by merchant or by yourself rather, you're going to pay 15% of the shipping price as well. So regardless of what way you go, if you want to charge more for shipping, less for shipping, more for your product, less for your product, you're looking at 15% off the top in general. Some categories are less of a percentage, some of them are more of a percentage. Then secondly, you have the fulfillment. If you use FBA, you have the fulfillment by Amazon fee, and for a very small product, that's going to cost you probably about $2 to $3.50 per item. But what you get for this 15% and this fulfillment cost is they're going to process all the credit cards. They're going to package the item. They're going to send the item to the customer. It's going to be 2-day free shipping. And if the customer has any problems with the product, they're going to take care of all the customer service for you. So you actually get a lot of value for that. And all you got to do in the FBA program is keep your product in stock. And if you do that and you ship in your product in bulk, you get a direct deposit every 2 weeks, which is very nice. If you do it yourself, you do save a little bit of money on that FBA. You lose out on some opportunities by not being in it, and you pay a little bit more of a percentage based on the shipping costs you're charging, and you have to do all that work on your own. So when looking at it from the idea of scalability, unless you have a staff of people who are doing fulfillment for you, that $2.50 a unit to have Amazon just take care of it all for you and just send it all in a giant box is actually quite good. And something else you should know is when you are shipping into the Amazon warehouses in the FBA program, you can actually get Amazon's UPS discount, which is 70 to 80% off the retail rate. So you can actually send quite a big box across the United States for less than $10, which is actually quite amazing. You can't ship anything small,
It is.
Down the road for less than $12 with the retail rates.
Yes, and to expand on that, Amazon also has partnered carriers like UPS for 18-wheelers for freight. And so if you're a company that's moving quite a bit of product quite quickly on Amazon, and you don't have your own carrier to ship pallets of goods to Amazon's warehouses, Amazon has their own partnered carriers who will show up to your loading dock, or if your residential area is in their operating vicinity, they will show up as well. You might, if you don't have a pallet lift or a forklift, a lot of them have lift gate fees. So if you can just pack a pallet and get stuff ready to go, Amazon really takes care of so many aspects of getting the products to their warehouse. And like Paul said, a lot of these fees might seem steep at first, but it replaces hiring people in a lot of areas of your business. So if you just see it, these fees as almost as an employee or a two, it's quite beneficial. And to be in front of hundreds of millions of people every month is essentially like being on the shelves at Walmart and Target. Just get a good product, take care of your product, good bullets, good descriptions, get it sent in, and hire consultants that know what they're doing.
So that $2.50 per item, that includes, Amazon's giving you the box for free, the packaging, if it's a fragile item, all of the packaging for it, the tape, and all that kind of stuff?
That's a great question, Robin. So the answer is no. What you need to do is make sure that anything that you send into Amazon will survive what we call a 5-point or 3-foot drop test, meaning from 3 feet in the air, if you drop your product on the ground and 5 different angles, so basically 4 sides and a corner, will it survive if dropped on concrete in the packaging that you're going to send it into Amazon? If the answer is no, you need to make sure that your product is better packaged, so this way when it does get to the customer, it survives and it's the way they expect it to arrive. So the idea there is, if you have something fragile, get it packaged up, because they're going to throw it into a box with let's say a pack of cards, some socks, an anvil, and who knows what else, maybe one of my 8-track Walkmans, and that's all going to be in a giant box that's going to go to the person, and it's all going to be jostling around that box. So you want to make sure that your stuff is going to survive that shipment.
So is it worth it if my product is only $10 retail or $15 retail to do this? Because now I'm having to buy the box, having to buy the packaging, having to send it in, pay for each item, and plus on top of that a 15% fee. Why should I sell my product if it's under $20?
You gotta, if you're selling something that's under $20, you really gotta have your acquisition cost and all the other costs built into it be under, I'd say, $3 or $4. And you could probably sell something profitably on Amazon if you're doing enough volume at maybe the $4 mark. But once you start getting under that, you really need to get your acquisition lower. So if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. And some folks I know will just sell their well, they'll do the self-fulfillment when that amount is less. Now, I always look at that as an opportunity, which is, what we can do is look at the idea of bundling items together to get a higher price point. So if you're selling one item at, let's say you normally sell this item for $8 or $9, and you sell the singles, well, why not make a 3-pack, or why not make a variety of different colors of that item? And that's where you can really get the price point a little bit higher, which keeps your fees down, and you're able to build more value in the listing so they feel like it's worth more, and you're able to make a higher profit margin on a per unit basis with that bundle. Does that make sense, Robin?
Yes, definitely.
On the bundles, I mean, we're getting a little short on time. I want to just make sure we're on track. But bundles also come in handy. We could talk briefly about, when you become selling something unique because of the way it's bundled, and what that can do for you as well.
And I'm just throwing videos up here of how things are working at the Amazon warehouses. It's just amazing to see their fulfillment program. There's they have robots that are bringing product all around the warehouse. This looks like some exposure video here. These things are pretty cool. They have these little robots that actually drive around the carts of product in the warehouse. So when your order is placed, these little things are buzzing around, going to an order picker who just grabs something out of this plastic thing, and then they put it on a conveyor belt in a bin, and then it goes to a whole bunch of other people who are just packing it up and shipping it out. They have one of the most advanced logistics networks of moving all this stuff around. It's just absolutely amazing what they're able to do.
Yeah, it's super cool. Instead of someone walking through the warehouse just comes to you and you stand still. Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, the fascinating stuff. And we got a lot more things to talk about on Amazon. I think we can look forward to having Amazon discussions on webinars going forward. Definitely a lot more to cover on that. But at this point, does anybody want to sum anything up here? Because we are against the clock a little bit. I'll take that.
I was going to say, Terry, we want to at least mention that we cover all these different topics on the SEO and the Amazon, and we encourage you to come back to the webinars because we are doing these weekly, and we'd love to. If you want to work with us individually, contact us. You'll get a hold of Terry, and he'll get you set up with a program where you can work with us on an individual basis. But again, if you really like this content, please leave us a 5-star review on Google, or just come back to the webinar and come and ask us questions because we'd love to answer those questions for you.
All right. I think we've covered it. So again, Awesome Dynamic. We are doing responsive websites. We're doing search engine optimization. We will help you sell your products on Amazon, and we can get you set up to do a Google virtual tour as well. So I think we've covered it for today. So from Argentina, from Florida, from Chicago, and from beautiful Vernon Hills, we're going to sign off from the Awesome Dynamic Show. We look forward to seeing you next week, and we will be at 3 o'clock Central Time next week. Everybody have a good week. Thanks.
Bye-bye.